Okay, well, welcome. Here we are. It is Thursday night and it's the big yin. So far it's Helen, not Helen, so sorry, it's Hannah and myself. But I know some of you have signed up and I know some of you are watching on the catch up because you can't make it in person. So a great big warm welcome to you. And whatever time of day it is, wherever you are, just enjoy your practice. Okay, so we have 90 minutes. And I think let's let Nadia in. Just going to welcome Nadia. Hi, Nadia. Welcome. Nice to see you. There's Hannah giving a wave. Awesome. Oh, you okay, Nadia? You don't need to say anything. It's fine. If you... Oh, you can hear us now. Good. Yay. Great. Well, welcome. So you know, cameras on, cameras off. It's entirely up to you. However you are most comfortable, okay, practice. And so we're in the depths of winter, and so we're still hanging out in the element of water, and we're hanging out in the kidney and the bladder channels. So that's what we'll be taking care of and tending to this evening. In terms of props, it's just anything you can lay your hands on. So what have I got here? I've got my bolster, I've got two blankets, and I've got two bricks. Oh, I didn't bring any blocks. Maybe a block or two. Or cushions, blankets, bath towels. You gather in whatever you can. Also, if you've got something to cover your eyes with, you might want to cover your eyes with something. So here we go. So I think what might be quite nice is to start seated this evening. So just feel free to get comfortable. So whether sitting cross-legged, or maybe you are kneeling with some kind of support underneath the hips. So just give yourself a moment just to get settled. I'll find myself right here. So we'll just allow ourselves to land. So you're very, very welcome to maybe start with the eyes open, see how that feels. But with the eyes open, you can allow the gaze to be quite low and quite soft. And you can take that full in-breath, noticing how the body might expand gently as you inhale. And perhaps a gentle sigh out. And with the eyes open and the gaze low, and without moving the eyes at all, just taking in what is sort of within your arena of vision. So maybe you're noticing the floor. Perhaps you're noticing the shape of your body. Perhaps your device. And again, without moving the eyes, just being really aware of the space that is around you. The walls, furniture. And we'll just briefly work through the senses in the body. So first of all, being aware of your sense of touch. Just noticing just a sense of touch. body in contact with the support. Perhaps the breath moving inside your body, breath moving through the throat, the nose. Maybe the breath expanding and releasing in the body. And perhaps inviting the breath just to gently deepen on the inhale and lengthen on the exhale. Being aware of your sense of smell. You can swallow gently and be aware of your sense of taste. And of course, only if taste and smell are available for you, of course. Noticing now your sense of hearing, sliding the attention to your ear. Your sense of sight. Once you've taken in your sense of sight, if your eyes are still open, maybe just close the eyes, gently internalizing your focus. And then your sense of space. So if your eyes are closed, you're welcome to either keep them closed or you can let them gently open. I would just take a little bit of movement through the body. Let's link the fingers together, turn the palms away. Inhale, take a big stretch up, maybe a little rocking sideways. As you do that, lift the heart, and then as you exhale, you can press the palms forward and curl the back. So you're letting the tailbone tuck under. Yes, it's a bit like cat cow, but you're seated. Inhale, let's reach up again. And exhale the trap. Keeping the jawbone nice and soft. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale to come. Inhale, reaching up. Now separate the hands and turning to your right around the midline as you exhale. Inhale, come back to center, reaching up. And then to your left, just keep it really light, very, very light touch. Inhaling up to center. Once more each side, exhale. Inhaling up. And exhale. Inhaling back up to center. Great. And taking the hands down through prayer pose, that very centering movement. And then here we'll take the left hand out the left side, just a little bit of side body. So what you can do here is you can press into the left hand, okay, so it's connecting to the earth. And as you exhale, feel very heavy, anchoring down through the opposite sitting bone. And the in-breath can take the arm up and over. And then maybe sweep the arm around in front of your face. You're welcome to change direction. You can reach the arm back Perhaps feeling the shoulder blades draw together on the back and sweep the arm around. Nice. Okay, let's take a moment here. You might find you can lean further than I'm leaning. Just keep pressing into that hand heavy through the opposite sitting bone. And then when you're ready, let's exhale and come all the way out. Great. Second side, all the way over. Heavy, heavy through the opposite sit bone. Right. So maybe you're circling, maybe squeezing the shoulder blades together as that arm comes around. Great. Let's take a breath here. Deep inhale. And then moving on the exhale. And pausing just right there. So let's set up for the first posture, which I want you to do a restorative posture to start this evening. Okay, so it's going to be the reclined shape over the bolster. All right, so I'll meet you there. Okay, so with your bolster, bring that on in. So you might want to stair step this bolster. You can choose whatever height you want to go with. Laying that bolster on top. And then a lot of you know I'm quite a big fan of having something just under my head. So I'll tend to take my blanket. I often have it quite densely folded. It kind of depends how you're shaped, yeah. And then you can get yourself ready to go back. Now, with the legs, if you have some cushions to go under your knees, feel free and go ahead and bring those cushions under the knees, yeah. What I was going to suggest this evening is actually not to do anything like butterfly legs, but to do more like little crisscross shins, yeah. So you're more like Sukhasana shaped legs. And then what I'm probably do personally with this shape is I'll take a second blanket and I'll just bring it sort of underneath my knees. Yes, I've just tucked myself in a little bit. This helps me feel a bit held. Great. And then back we go. I'm also going to have a little rest for my arms right here. So as you bring yourself back, just listening to the lower back, okay? This should be comfortable. It shouldn't feel too stretchy either. And just lifting your head from the mat, bring the hands under the back of the head, okay, or behind the back of the head. Gently lift the head from your support, a little bit of cradling, and then lower the head back down. Here we are. So we're aiming here to have this very, very subtle, gentle openness across the chest. We'll probably take about 5 minutes in this shape. Right, so just give yourself plenty of time to construct the posture. And I want you to share with you a poem. It's quite a long poem. It will fill our time whilst we're here. But it's really beautiful. And I don't often do long poems, but this one really resonates with me. This is by John Rodell. And it's called The Anatomy of Peace. So just connect to your breath and just let the words wash over you. My brain and heart divorced a decade ago over who was to blame about how big of a mess I have become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week. And their notes they send to one another always says the same thing. This is all your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesdays, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me in the future. They blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying. So lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. Most nights, I sneak out of the window in my ribcage and slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit, 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 sit until the sun comes up. Last evening, my gut asked me if I was having a hard time caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said I didn't know if I could live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow, I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with my mistakes of the past or my anxiety about the future, I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you're exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your head and heart work the relationship out. This morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves, and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and walked to the door of my lungs. Before I could even knock, the door opened with a smile, and as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" Just take another minute here, coming into that embrace of your breath, that one inhale, that one exhale. So just taking a smooth, deep breath, gently embracing that breath and let it embrace you. So when you're ready, you might want to gently move your fingers and your toes. If you have your legs in that little crisscross shape, slowly, slowly, you could even use your hands to help. Yeah. You could gently guide the legs together so you're standing on your feet. Take a little moment. Maybe whilst you're here, you'd like a big stretch. Oh. And then I think you all know the good exit, but just to be safe, I'll just talk you through it. What you could do here is I'm personally going to shift my hips a little bit to the left. So when I roll onto my right side, I'm still held by my support. And just take a little moment there, just feeling the support underneath the lungs, or well, that one side. Great. And then please take your time, pressing into one hand, bring yourself up. Great. And when you come on up to sit, we'll just take a tiny little pause right here. Maybe just keeping your back to the bolster. And whilst you're here, what we could do is we could just rub the hands together. And feel free to, if it's okay for your shoulders, yeah, bring your hands onto the back of the body and just start to rub down the sacrum up a little bit towards the waistline. And I like doing quite loose, like little loose fists and using that bit of my hand just to really rub down. I find it a bit more accessible in the palms of the hand. And then up, maybe up around the waist, just all around this kidney area, right down to the sacral space, maybe across the glutes, you know. These kidney channels run right down through there. Or I should say, run up through there. So take your time, just relax. Maybe a little roll of the shoulders. These precious lungs. You're very welcome here just to cross the arms over the chest. Just so the fingers are resting underneath the collarbone. The primary organ pairs I'm considering at the moment really kidney and bladder, with it being winter, and always the lungs. Okay. So if your eyes are closed, you can let the eyes gently open. Release the arms. So let's get ready for butterfly pose from here. Okay. So you might want to keep that support underneath the hips. I've got my little block there. And of course the bolster might come in handy as well to lean onto. So please remember you can always put some support underneath the knees. So you might have cushions under the knees. Soles of the feet together. And what I'll actually just demonstrate right here, well, I've got two blanket action things. Of course, you can also have the bolster ready, as I said, under the knees if you want to. I'm going to aim to wrap up my feet. So perhaps taking a nice big long fold on this blanket. So you can put the blanket over the tops of the feet, yeah, and then really wrap it and pull it in, okay? And some people I teach, they might do, I tend to recommend the rolling of the end just to sort of hold the the lower leg a little bit. It stops us kind of stretching too far. But some folks I teach quite like pulling the blanket sort of under and they cross it over. So the main focus is getting that nice snug little samosa feet going on there. So I'll let you fiddle around with that. And I'm kind of feeling like I want to cover up my kidneys. So what I'm going to do personally here is take probably I'll do a longer fold on this as well. And just wrap it around my back, or just pull a blanket over your back. At the moment, I'm feeling like I need to have something where I feel sort of quite snug and held. I'll wrap that in. That in. It's taking me. I'm taking longer getting into it than I probably would be in the shape. Let's say for 4 minutes, make the setup worth our while. Yeah. As I think you all know, you can have your bolster leaning here, or maybe you're coming more forward, or you might want to be without bolster. Okay. So just take your time constructing the posture. I'll give you a little nod at 3 minutes in. Hmm. So if in doubt, just build the height. Yeah, if you feel like coming forward, this feels too intense. Just give yourself a little bit more height. So every time you might notice that your mind wanders, giving yourself this gift of coming back to your breath. If you're exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed path and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest where your heart and head work their relationship out. We're just over halfway through. And just in the final minutes. So please remember, if you want to come out, you can always come out. You find that the body is yielding a little bit more, you might want to just go a little deeper. Just keep it very curious. Take a full inhale. Smooth exhale. Please take the time. You can start to bring yourself back up. No rush. Just moving as slowly as you need to move. As you find your way out of the posture, then we can start to remove any bits and pieces. I might keep my snug wrap around my waist actually. You can use the hands to help, draw the legs together, and then leaning back, extend the legs. You can lean back into the hands. Maybe a little bit of movement. Just noticing the sensations as you make your way out of the posture. Okay. When you're ready, you could undo the legs. It might be nice for you just to take a little bit of windscreen wiper movement, rocking the legs from side to side. Really gentle. Right. And just a little pause before we get into the next shape. Just this breath. Just one inhale. Just one exhale. So take the time, you could just gently lift the eyelids whenever you're ready. And let's get ready for it. We'll take be my staple at the moment. Sphinx, prone penguin, sphinx, with the option of seal. Okay. So we'll probably do about so I think I'm gonna sneeze. Hang on a sec. Excuse me. So as you come onto your belly, we can make sure you've got some support like bricks nearby, okay? And you may want to like take some support like a blanket or something underneath the pelvis, or actually get a blanket. Sometimes, I know that I often have a blanket completely over my mat. I seem to not do that today for some reason. So I put my little bits to the side. And you know what? I think I'm going to suggest here actually is to have the arrangement of this bolster where you can actually have the ankles resting on it, so the feet are just slightly elevated. Sometimes that can be really, really nice. I have my block right here from my hip. But let's start with the Sphinx pose, okay? So I've got my bricks just sitting nearby. Push my bolster back a little bit. There we go. So you might have the forearms and elbows on the mat, okay? You might prefer to use that bolster underneath the rib cage, okay? But actually, today, I think I might need to do that. And this bolster could also come in handy in a little while for the seal pose. Okay, let's see. Yeah, do you know, I've not been a fan of doing this for years, having the bolster under my ribcage. For some reason, the last sort of 4 months, I've been really enjoying it. Yeah, different seasons of the body and different phases we move through. So I'm going to elevate my forearms onto a block. And here we are. So we'll take a good 2 minutes here. You might find it's nice to pick the feet up, knees can come a little bit wider, and let the feet touch together in the center. Keeping the hands relaxed. Shoulder blades gently resting down on your back. Very, very gently following that lovely ebb and flow of your breath. Perhaps imagining or visualizing the breath washing up from the toes, right up through the inner legs, pelvis, belly, torso, up over your face. And then the out breath washing down the back of the body, out through the toes. Another 30 seconds. So when you're ready to release this, you might prefer just to come out and lie flat on your belly. You might prefer to press into the hands on the bolster if you've got it there and bring yourself back into child's pose. Take your time. We're going to come back onto the belly. So I'm just going to roll my bolster back. I might rest them on my ankle bone at this time. And then we'll get ready for prone penguin. So here we can let the ankles just rest on top of that bolster. You can get your bricks ready. So bricks can go any height, right? So if you've got cushions or like rolled up blankets or something, or rolled up towels, that'd be great. Just get something quite dense, sort of like a good bricks thickness, yeah? I've been kind of enjoying having my bricks on the medium edge at the moment. And then you're aiming to get your support just so it's at the top of the shoulders. I've then got my block here for my head. And then the arms come down by my sides. Backs of hands resting on the mat. And hang out there. So 2 minutes right here. So staying with your breath. So allowing yourself to come into this very present moment to moment experience. You might want to start by noticing how the body feels, noticing sensations, and noticing how the breath is moving. You might be noticing the comings and goings of thought in the mind. And just let things come, let things go, ebbing and flowing. And then see what you can do to gently come back to your breath, the one breath you're on. So take a full inhale here. Exhale completely. Now, it's up to you. You can remove the bricks and then come to lie on your front in crocodile pose. You might prefer to press back to child's pose. Won't be here for too long. We've got one more to do. Okay. So I'd like to invite you. Well, we have options. Okay. So we can either come into Sphinx pose. We can repeat Sphinx pose. We can come into seal pose, or we can go back to prone penguin. Okay, just whatever you feel is appropriate. What I'll do, so we did Sphinx earlier, so if that was one for you, go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate seal, and I've been finding it a lot more pleasant on my lower back to have a bolster support just underneath I usually get my bolster so it's sitting kind of towards the tops of my thighs. Yeah. So just reset the timer. So you could always start in Sphinx. Feels a bit weird for me. And then you can come into seal. Now for me at the moment, I'm too far back. So I'm just going to nudge myself forward. And this takes the pressure, for me, it takes it out my arms. It allows me to lengthen the lower back a little bit. And here we are. So you've got prone penguin, sphinx, or seal. And don't forget you've got your hands turned out a little bit so they're like little flippers. Shoulder blades resting down on the back. And just allowing the spine to drape like a chain of fairy lights. Just be mindful of any unnecessary tension accumulating in the body. Sometimes the neck can get a little bit sticky. Jawbone, eyes, another half minute. So if we still, we start to find our way out. Okay, so for you that might mean you're comfortable coming back to Sphinx and then coming out that way. For me personally, what I'm just going to do right here is I'm going to lower my knees and just gently, gently, gently curl back to a long child's pose. I'm going to hang out over this bolster. So if you have been working in Sphinx pose, just come and take a moment on the belly before coming back to child's pose. With prone penguin, just gently release and lie flat on your belly, okay, for crocodile. We're going to do a little something to ease out the lower back. If you feel you need to, before we come back onto the belly, if you want to roll through a little bit of cat-cow, go ahead. Just gently rolling, letting your breath breathe you. A gentle curl back. And then if you've got your bolster here like I have, you probably want to set that off to the side. And let's all come onto the front body. Now I'm going to make sure I've still got my block nearby. But just before we do anything else, let's take 5 breaths each side in this kind of half frog. Okay. So good 5 breaths. But let the in-breath really invite a sense of expanse. Belly gently expanding. Easy, easy softness. Okay, when you're ready, you can change side. Deep, smooth inhale. Easy softness on the exhale. So when you're ready, that leg can extend long. And then we'll get ready for the posture that often gets called broken wing. So with this shape, I'm going to make sure I've just got something for my head right here. So I've got my block just extending the right arm out on the floor. Get my glasses off. And then you've got option here of either keeping the palm facing down, okay, or you can turn the hands, the thumb points down towards the floor, and then keep turning it so the palm of the hand turns up. You create an inward rotation of the right arm, okay? And then using your left hand to push and roll you onto your right side. And then just let your legs fall into a good shape for you. Yeah, so some people like to keep the legs just sort of stacked with a little something between the knees, like a bolster or some cushions. Some folks prefer to arrange the legs so you're standing and just got a good support of the legs. And then either, it's pretty intense to reach that left arm up towards the sky. You might prefer to wrap the arm around behind your back. So this is a really, really deep chest opener. We'll just be here for 2 minutes. Now you might find that it's helpful just to gently lengthen the exhale. Another half minute here. Lowering that gentle rise of the inhale, that gentle fall of the exhale. So if you have your left arm reaching or raised, just gently begin to lower the arm. And slowly, slowly, that tortoise-like transition, just start to roll onto your belly. And give yourself a moment right here. Before you change sides, it might be nice for you to bend the knees, lift the feet from the mat, and you can just gently windscreen wipe with the legs from side to side. Or you might want to just press back to child's pose for a few breaths. Okay. And then, when you're ready, we can go on to the second side. I'm just going to turn around because I've got my wall here, so it's a bit tricky. So really getting into that lung energy with the shape, okay? So the left arm reaching out, turn the hand, palm can face up. Now remember, that's completely optional, yeah. And then from here, rolling over. Getting yourself settled, finding a good solution for your legs. And then maybe reaching up there with the right hand, maybe wrapping the arm behind your back, okay? Just allowing the breath to rise and fall. I just want you to share as you breathe here, just want you to share just some thoughts with you. I've been rattling around in my heart for a little while. And been doing a lot of work personally around the idea of equanimity. And this idea of equanimity being able to stay kind of steady and stable in amongst all the stuff that might be going on, churning around in life and happening in the world. And sometimes if we can hold our peace, the impact on people around us can be quite profound. And it's what the forest monk, who is now dead now, but Ajahn Chah, would say, taking our seat in the center of it all, taking our seat in the center of it all. staying steady like a great tree in the forest. So no matter what winds may blow, we're there, we're steady. And take a deep in breath. When you're ready, exhale. If the arm is raised, you can gently lower the arm, and then we'll come all the way onto the belly. Take your time. I often find I have to move pretty slowly out of this shape these days. And let's just give yourself what you need. If you'd like to, you can curl back into child's pose. We've gone pretty full on in the heart. Got some forward folding to do now. But if you'd like to go back to child's pose, go ahead and do that. And what you could do as well, I was just going to give you another reading, but which isn't as long as the first one, but you might want to just build a little bit of height with your bolster. And maybe just curl yourself over this way. Okay. Just give yourself what you need. So these are some words around equanimity by Jack Cornfield, or from Jack Cornfield. And I find them quite relevant, really, in terms of with so much happening in the world and feeling really helpless and not, thinking that you can't make a difference. I'll just read it. I was going to try and expand on that, but it's just better if I just read it. So Jack Cornfield says, you can reach out and touch the fabric of life to the place that you can touch and mend that torn place. So you can start small when the heart is peaceful. Then, whatever the circumstance you find yourself in, you become that steadiness and peace. Then you can reach out and do what you can. That's what's given to you, really, because it's what we're here for. We're here to get quiet, to tune into the mystery of life and of love that connects us all, and then to offer our light, your light, to this world. We don't get to decide the fruits of our actions, but with a peaceful heart, when we enter into the marketplace and the family and the community and all of the things, the environment that we care about, it's an enormous gift to have this peaceful heart. Just take your time. Slowly, slowly, you can just bring yourself up to sitting. Then undo your legs. Okay. So this is a posture. I tend not to teach this posture much. I don't know why. I think it just sort of falls off my radar a little bit. But it's half butterfly. So it's essentially, you might know this as like a Janu Shirshasana in a way. We've got one leg bent, one leg extended. Okay. So I'm going to bend my right leg, but it's not quite as closed in as the Janu Shirshasana. So it's just like a butterfly, but you've lengthened that one leg. Okay. So here you can use lots of things. Yes, I might have my bolster to come forward onto. So what I might do, I might just stick that there for now. Perhaps you've taken a blanket or some kind of support and just placed it like underneath that knee right here. Okay. So I'm just going to turn the light a little bit so it's looking pretty dark so you can see what I'm doing with my leg. Don't know if that's helped. Okay. So here I've got this leg bent, right leg bent, left leg extended. Maybe sitting on something, and if you're quite enjoying the lower back wrap, you can wrap yourself up once again. And then we're going to come forward for about 2 minutes. Okay. So, see how you feel. You might want to lean onto a bolster and breathe there. Okay. You might prefer to take the bolster across the leg, and you can lean onto it here, supporting the head if you like. Just giving yourself what you need. It'll be 2 minutes. Allowing the teeth to part. Soft face, soft jawbone. And again, you can observe the body, the sensations in the body. And whatever might be coming up in the body, it can be a very useful skill to name those sensations. Perhaps it's restlessness, restlessness. Say it over in your mind. Restlessness, restlessness. Like you're shining a spotlight on it. Very, very light touch. You might find that that sensation gently dissolves. And you might find you can come back to your breath. Take a full inhale, smooth exhale. Now slowly just start to gently bring yourself back up. Maybe pausing. You might want to just gently guide this leg back in. Straighten out the leg. Lean back into the hand. And I know it's not maybe like the most common thing you might see in a yin practice, but sometimes it can be really nice. I found that I was actually feeling quite restless. Hence, I was talking about being restless. In that last posture, if I was there for a bit longer, I would probably start feeling like I was going to jump out my skin. But here, what you could do is just take a little bit of dynamic movement, just opening up in the front body like a reverse tabletop, and exhale. It'd be nice to have that interplay of, the very passive yin postures and then giving yourself something that's just a little bit more dynamic, engaging the muscles, a little bit more yang, and then we'll get ready for the second side. Okay, so I've now just bent my left leg, wrap myself up. And let's get into it. Nice. I'm going to try and stay really quiet. Yeah. Keep coming back to your breath. It's enough. Half minute. Deep inhale. Smooth exhale. Let's just slowly start to draw ourselves up. Just gently set your things off to the side. Both legs extend. Perhaps you want to come back into that reverse tabletop. One down. Take a pause. Maybe one hand onto your heart, one hand onto the lower belly. Hmm. So when you're ready, let's release the arms and if it's like to come into a little side body extension. Um, so it's up to you. You can, well, I tend to sit cross-legged, okay, for this. Um, you might prefer, you could kneel, but it's a little bit more of a lean, yeah, but just play around with it. So what I'm going to do personally is I'm going to come back to this kind of wrap of my shins, okay, of my legs. So here, if you can see, I've got my shins kind of crossed right here. I'm going to take my blanket and that's going to get tucked right under here. This sort of holds me. It feels reassuring. Supporting my knees. And you know what? Today I think I also need something under my, yeah, that's better. I've got a little block under my hips. Okay. And then the plan here is to lean to the side. You can choose whatever side you want to do first. Okay. So aim is just to build up as much height as you need to. So I've got I mean, you might find that you're really open and you're happy to lean with minimal props or no props. Okay. I'm finding it pretty challenging in this direction at the moment. So I'm probably going to start with like a brick under my elbow. I love this posture because I get to do this. Lean on my hand. Yeah. And then the other arm can hang by your side. You might want to wrap it behind your back, or it might come up and over. And you're very welcome to take some movement if you want to. Yeah, you can circle that arm if that's nice for you. Yeah, maybe like a couple of times in each direction. Just feeling your way in and having that sense of heaviness down to the opposite sitting bone. It just starts to feel far too edgy. Another variation you could do is go and sit next to your sofa and you can lean the upper arm across your sofa, or you can prop with your bolster right here, maybe under the armpit or under the arm. How would it feel to invite the top ribs to gently roll open towards the sky? Just another few breaths. Okay. If your top arm is reaching over your head, just let it come down. And then go nice and slowly with it, right? One hand can come to either side of the knee that you're leaning towards, okay? Gently lift up, turn a little bit towards this knee, and then gently bow towards it. I like to press into my hands just to get that release into the sitting bones there. And then when you're ready, rolling up, take a pause. Okay, great. Let's change sides. Now you're welcome to stay there with the legs, or if you want to, you can change across on your shins. Sometimes I find this posture is just kind of funky enough, let alone messing around with what my legs are doing. So it was 90-second stay that we had going on there. Nice. So let's lean now to the second side. Doesn't matter what way you're going. Well, as long as it's the other way. Remembering that yin works on a system of extension. Yeah, so the where you might be feeling the stretch, okay, and also compression. Yeah, so the side you feel you might be kind of compressing into or leaning into. That's cool. That's a good thing. Yeah, but maybe a little bit of movement. Mm. Just a few more breaths. Okay, when you're ready, gently sweep the top arm down. Take your time. Framing that knee that you're leaning towards with both hands. Just keep yourself quite low. And you can lift, turn, and gently back. Just 3 breaths right here. Bringing yourself up. And then a little pause in the center, maybe rolling the shoulders. See how you feel. Okay. Take your time before we get down into Shavasana. We'll just do a little bit of cat-cow. We've been quite asymmetrical for the last couple of postures. So we'll just take a little bit of movement. So let's take the hips all the way back towards the heels, forehead towards the mat. Inhale, rolling up and through. So lifting chest, head, sitting bone. Exhale, curling back. Take the hips back towards the heels, forehead to mat. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then one more. Right, take your time. But when you feel ready, you can come up to sitting. And then we can find our way into Shavasana. Okay, so you might want to lie on your side. You might prefer to lie on your back with the bolster under your knees. And if you'd like to, I'm just going to quickly show you. We can make a little head nest if you want to go there, okay? So I know probably quite a few of you are quite familiar with making head nests, but I'll just quickly show you. So what I'm doing here is I'm folding up my blanket. But I'm still here. I'm folding up my blanket. So I tend to go from something this size, yeah? A complete mess, but that's okay. Right, so I tend to go with something a bit like this. So it's quite big, yeah. And then what I'll do is find the ends. There we go. So you know on your blanket, right? You've got a sort of a more neat edge, okay, a sort of smoother edge. And then back here, I've got sort of quite a messy edge where I've got all the seams and stuff that are all gathered. And it's a little bit thicker actually. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the messy edge, and that's going to get folded down. So there's going to be a stair step. So it's as though the bottom fold is like the lower step, and then that messier fold is the top step. Let me just hold that up. So I think you can probably, so something a bit like that. Okay. And this just feels way too much to even think about this time of night or whatever time of day you're doing it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Then what I'm going to do when I lie down, that top messier edge is going to go right on that occipital ridge, just at the base of my skull, that big old lumpy bit, right around that edge. Then that neat fold just underneath my shoulders a little bit. Messy fold, you'll probably need to adjust it. Just pulling it so you've got that right under the skull, and then the fun bit, the best bit, take the ends and then tuck and roll. So you'll tuck them underneath And you'll roll, 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 roll. So then you've made this little nest for your head to rest into. Okay. Maybe the bolster of the knees. Here we are. Okay. So give yourself enough time to get settled. You can cover the eyes if you wish. Very, very gently, just allowing yourself to fall into the one breath you're on. Mm. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your heart and head work their relationship out. If any thoughts enter your mind, just very gently let them come, let them go. Guide the attention back to your breath. So allowing yourself to deepen the breath very, very gently, just breathing awareness back into your physical body, maybe breathing some movements in, perhaps rocking your head a little from side to side. And if you wish to take longer resting where you are, then please do. But if you prefer, you can take a big stretch, hug your knees in, and then you could find your way back to sitting, however that works for you. No rush. So whether you're still lying down or whether you come to sitting, doesn't matter. We'll just pause for a couple of minutes, seated here. Just take a couple of long breaths. So following the breath in, maybe a sigh. Again, following the breath in, maybe a gentle sigh. And just whether you're sitting or still lying down, just feel the connection from your body into the support that you're on. You can allow the shoulders to relax. Just feel the weight of your body right here. Feel the steadiness of your present as you take the one seat in the center of it all, grounded in present and opening with loving awareness, mindful. You might want to take a hand and place it onto your heart. This moment is the still point, the center. Relaxing into the stillness and presence. And even if there are thoughts, sensations, feelings that come and go underneath, in the midst of it all is a profound stillness, a vastness, your true home. And here we can rest in that awareness. We can allow all things to rise and fall. And you are the still point, the silent point. Coming back to Jack Cornfield's words, you can reach out and touch the fabric of life to the place that you can touch and mend that torn place. So you can start small when the heart is peaceful. Then whatever the circumstance you find yourself in, You become that steadiness and peace. Then you can reach out and do what you can. That's what's given to you, really, because it's what we're here for. We're here to get quiet, to tune into the mystery of life and of love that connects us all. Whenever you're ready, you can bring the hands together to Anjali Mudra and just keeping it really quiet. And bring the thumbs to the eyebrow center, indicating our desire for a clear and calm mind. Bring fingers to lips, indicating our desire for clear and kind communication. And the hands come back to the heart, indicating our desire for kind and loving intention. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste. Mm. I feel all cozy now and ready for bed. Thank you so much for joining live, and thank you so much for signing up for catch up. So nice.
Thanks, Nadine. Take care.
Take lots of care, lots of love. Yeah, thank you so much. Good night. Bye, folks.